Giving is something that was very important to both Don and I. And it will also be a part of our legacy. In 1973, we became a part of Harvard Avenue Christian Church with the founding pastor and wife being there, Reverend Bob Peake, affectionately known as Revy, and his wife, Harriet. I volunteered at Harvard Avenue by 15 years of church camps and really became acquainted with all of the children and youth. And then Don and I would go on mission trips, and part of that was going with the youth. One of our favorite trips was to New York City to do the burbs, and we actually did something in each one of the burbs with the youth. That was a fun time. We always joked that we were glad that Don was on the trip because he was the only one that knew where to go and how to get on the subway and get all those kids on the subway before the doors closed.
Just thinking back early on as a child, I remember going through the nursery program, and then you go into the school age program, and then you go into the high school and college. And I just remember our church had a lot of events, whether they were dinners, we had walk-ins, we had just events going on, I feel, just to be together. And so that was fun. And then as I got to the college age, then I was working in the nursery and the Sunday school room. So that was neat, just knowing that I've been through it. And then I went back and I served in those capacities as well.
The other thing we kind of got to participate in is just watching Mom and Dad as they interacted with a lot of the adults in their Sunday school class, and you know, their kids were our friends, and so it was really neat being able to see that and be a part of it growing up at Harvard Avenue.
Mom and Dad were so involved in every facet of our church, and they were such good role models to us on just how to be a volunteer and how to be a good friend and how to be a teacher, a mentor, in all those capacities.
I felt served by our church, of course, recently, which is probably the one that's the most prominent in my mind. When Don passed away, it was not easy. There was a real hole in my heart after 61 and a half years together. But my church helped me to get through that, making sure that I was okay and that my children were okay. And then on the day of the service, when the church was so good to be there in every way and to service us with even a few cookies and punch afterwards, just to be there and say that they loved us. In going back with my legacy, I would be really remiss not to mention my parents, and that's how I learned a lot. I will never forget my father placing my allowance on the corner of the buffet in the dining room, and it was a quarter, 2 dimes, and a nickel. The nickel was for Sunday school, the dime was for church. The rest I could either save or I could use it the way I wanted to. But it was very important to teach me that I had to use part of that for my offering. And I think that learning that from him both my parents, was the way we began to establish that with our children.
Teaching our kids early on to do these kind of things made an impression on them. So who did we learn that from? Our parents in Harvard Avenue.
And it becomes more important to you as you get older. You start having getting married, having kids, and really wanting to impart what was imparted to us to our kids, just kind of extending that legacy that mom and dad has started for us and got from their parents, frankly.
I would say start your children early, teach them all the way, and teach them by example, and showing them and taking them places and doing it with them.